Hello, my friends. I welcome you to another episode of our Talks. And today we have Miss Wing, Miss Namrata Chandi, she was an ex-wing commander in the Indian Air Force, and she was an helicopter pilot with like 24 years of experience in aviation, operations in high altitude, like Siachen Glacier, Flying Valley, and many deserts in plains. She is the first woman in the world to have flown in the Siachen Glacier after volunteering for a posting at an operational unit based at a high altitude airbase. She is the first woman in the world to have landed at the highest ALV in the world, dollars based only. She features in the Limca Book of World Records for being the first pair of sisters in the world to have been flown together as pilot and co-pilot in an aircraft. She attained National Women Achiever Award Ananya by the Ministry of Women and Child Affairs by the Government of India. She is also an author, a motivational speaker, and chief ambassador of an international initiative, The Successful Woman. She believes that nothing is impossible if you send your mind and heart to it. So let's get on with this interview. Stay tuned till the end and friends, I welcome you to another episode of Aditya Talk. And today we have Mrs. Namrita, and she's a wing commander, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Aditya. It's a pleasure to be on your show. It's a very unusual thing for me because I've never been interviewed by such a young, person. And you must have got these compliments earlier as well. So the pleasure is absolutely mine. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. It is also my pleasure because I am interviewing such a great personality, and I am going to learn a lot today. So thank you, ma'am, for this opportunity. So let's begin the interview. Flying as a career in the armed forces, which was like predominantly male dominating. I would like to know how and why you decided to join the Indian Air Force.
Yes, Aditya. So when I grew up as a child, that point in time, I realized how important was it for women to become independent and not to be, depend on anyone else. So they had to be strong, they had to be independent. These were the lessons I learned while growing up in the circumstances that I grew up. But doing something different, this is about, say, 40 years back, was not even unseen. It was actually unheard of when it came to women. But that fire kept burning slowly inside me, and I, kept dreaming of doing something different. It was only after, say, 20 years, 25 years, I got an opportunity to join the Indian Air Force. And that was the time when they had just started taking women in flying branch as pilots. So when I came across this opportunity, I just grabbed it. Yeah.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
this is how it happened.
Yes, ma'am. That is an interesting story. Well, like 40 years ago, you were like in this field, and it's a very interesting thing, ma'am. So what management lessons did you learn from the armed forces, and uh, those which make you like stand out from normal civilians?
Yeah, so there's no standing out, Aditya, because everyone has their own journey to undertake. Everyone have their own experiences to learn from, right? So there's no comparison as such. But yes, what armed forces did was, without going to any formal way of teaching you, they taught you, they made you undergo those situations and circumstances where you learned your lessons. And the lessons that we've learned from the armed forces are huge in terms of leadership, in terms of being more resilient, in better decision making, having more trust, teamwork, leading by example. So these were I think, the core lessons that we learned during our tenure with the armed forces.
Yes, ma'am. So that is very interesting. I also want to ask, did you face any challenges in the training? Um, and what, like, or did you, did they treat you different because you were a woman or something like that? Did something like that happen in the armed forces?
No, we were treated the same. We were treated equal. Because see, what happens, Aditya, when you're flying an aircraft or a helicopter, that doesn't know whether it's a woman flying it or a man flying it, right? That doesn't distinguish. So the role that you had to play had no difference. There was no distinction. There was no difference. So all the more reason why, they had to ensure that you were treated equally, and there was absolutely no disparity during the training. But yes, the initial stages of our training were challenging because so we were not used to that kind of a routine where there was rigorous physical exercises and we had to undergo the day was full of action. We had to undergo learn flying, we had to learn the ground subjects, and everything was so packed back to back. Absolutely, there's no time to breathe or think anything. So yes, they were a huge challenge for us because we don't come from an army background. I don't come from an army or an air force background. I come from a totally civilian background. So there was no one to guide me or make me mentally prepared to what is in store when I go there, or how should I prepare myself before I reach there. So I learned my lessons while undergoing that journey. And all I realized was that human potential is limitless, because the more I pushed myself to my physical and mental boundaries, the more I realized more potential I had. So that was another huge lesson which I learned. And second thing is that mental toughness is what makes you a tough person to overcome any kind of challenge that comes your way. So these were the things that we learned while undergoing the training. Yes, definitely it was not easy. It was difficult. There were a lot of challenges, physical, mental, emotional, all sorts of challenges. But probably they were there for a reason, to prepare us for situations that we would be facing later. So yeah, it was a very interesting period. And when I look back, it's like, all good memories coming to my mind.
Yes, ma'am. I also want to ask you something. Did your time at the Air Force or like at the Indian Air Force change your personality or impact you in many other ways um, that that are not related to those kind of stuff and are still impacting and help you in day to day life?
Yes, Aditya, that's a very good question. So yes, it did impact my personality. It just made me who I am today. And a lot of credit goes to what the lessons I have learned or the experience I've had in those, situations and circumstances. Um, because one thing is for sure that since it was a totally male dominated society, kind of there was this environment was absolutely male dominated, and you're the one of the first few women, so we had our own kind of challenges which were so different. So circumventing those challenges, learning our lessons, not giving up. There were times when you just wanted to give up because you couldn't take it anymore. Those times have come in my life as well. But the resilience to bounce back, not give up, was also taught by the armed forces, right? So yes. So what I am today, the way I am today, my endeavor now to make an impact and influence on other women, because I know why I to totally relate to their issues that they face, because I've gone through them, I've been through that journey and reach where I am today. So that has really helping me to pursue my passion of helping other women to come out of those, you know, mostly those are self-limiting beliefs and self-doubts that women have, or a lot of fears that women have. Because
Yes,
I
ma'am.
had to overcome my own fears. I had a lot of fears before I joined. Just to name a few, I used to be road sick as a child, and I continued to be road sick for very long. So anytime I would travel anything more than an hour, I would, take those anti-vomiting pills and travel.
Yes.
I was scared of heights, and I knew if I had to fulfill my passion, I had to overcome these fears, and they would come in my way. So I started preparing myself, overcoming these fears. Like if I was scared of heights, I would just go on the top of a building and keep looking down for minutes and minutes together to overcome my fear. So I just kind of, figured out how to overcome my fears. And that aspect is so important to make you who you are. Yes, few fears are real, but most of the fears don't even exist. We just make them in our own mind. It's the story that we tell ourselves, and we live as if they are true, and our actions are based on their being true. That's how we act and we behave, and the results are commensurate to that. So there's a huge gap, Aditya, between what women want and what they are, and bridging those gaps is like overcoming a lot of issues which are related to one's own self. And now with that kind of experience that armed forces has given me, what the way they have trained me, what I have learned, my lessons, becoming the person that I am. And also, I am continuing my journey to become a better version of myself every single day. That's what I do. And that's what I want to help women who are just caught up, stuck
Yes,
in
ma'am.
their stage of life, whatever stage it is, to move them
Yes,
forward. So, yes,
yes,
that was a
ma'am.
beautiful question, Aditya, and thank you for asking.
Yes, ma'am. That was certainly very interesting, and I understood. So you're doing a very great job, and it is really commendable. You have affected our nation in not only by joining the armed forces, but by helping our people, the civilians. And actually, both are important. But I believe if civilians and people have more success, then it is very important. And thank you, ma'am. Many people also like face a lot of problems, and you are helping to solve them. So let's move on to the next question. Please tell us about your high altitude operations, especially in terrains like Siachen glaciers and landing on the highest advanced like landing ground. What were the difficulties faced in all these expeditions? And please share your experience from those um, journey.
Yeah, okay, Aditya. Now that you ask, I have to answer you. So yes, so I was posted to Leh, which is at the base of the Siachen Glacier, and we have a unit there. The Air Force has a unit there, because at that point in time we heard that the best pilots get posted to Siachen Glacier. So I really wanted to fly there. So I asked for a posting, and since I was the first woman to get posted there, it wasn't it didn't come naturally to me. I had to ask for it. So I wrote up an application and asking that I should be posted there. And finally, they accepted, and I was posted there. So when I got posted there, I was really happy. But I also knew that it means taking on a lot of challenges, because the conditions are not easy to fly or to live. Because basically, what the situation is that you're flying in temperatures as low as minus 30 degrees at time. There is lack of oxygen. You have to land at really matchbox size helipads. There is almost zero scope of making any error with the machine while you're flying. You have to be very precise. You have to know what you're doing. You cannot make any mistakes, because even a small mistake can lead to a catastrophic accidents. And also, the weather is unpredictable. There are a lot of updrafts, downdrafts. The weather would pack up. Suddenly, the weather would pack up. All these situations are there which work against you. And you're flying at the endurance of your own and the endurance of the machine. It's flying, at that altitude. So things are tough, but nevertheless, what keeps you going is your morale. And when you see the soldiers,
Yes.
so our soldiers, they stay there, they safeguard our territory, staying there for months together. And when you see them living in those conditions for months together, is what propels you, gives you that enthusiasm to keep going, keep continuing. Well, living conditions are tough, like I said. When we were there, which was like more than 20 years back, we were not that advanced. The technology we used was still the old one. We most of the times we did not have running water. We did not have electric systems to keep us warm. So we used to use a bukhari, which would run on kerosene, and the result of that, we would smell of kerosene all the time. Um, um, we for water, the maid would come. She would break open the ice in the barrels that were kept outside and filled with water and give us water. We would heat that up and use it. So normal life was tough. It was challenging as well. But it's been one of my most when you go through challenges, such challenges, they make you who you are. And I realized some of the leadership lessons that I've talked about, even life lessons, are the ones I learned flying in those high altitudes. And Another thing is that what keeps you going is the morale that is there, and you are supporting the army, which is safeguarding the nation. So that really keeps you going. It keeps you moving forward. These challenges don't really look like challenges anymore. You get used to them. And another thing is that um, I was when I was flying there, and there were things that happened. There were tragic things that happened. I lost a lot of my course mates, my friends, but nevertheless, we just kept going. So conditions worked out. There were challenges, but we all kind of overcame those challenges, and they never looked like they never seemed like a challenges after a while because we got so used to them. But another thing that it has given me is that the pleasure of flying over the one of the most beautiful terrain in this world, and no amount of money can give you the experiences that I have got while doing my mission and serving the nation. So I'm very proud that I got this opportunity, and I feel very fortunate, and I feel very happy about it.
Yes, ma'am. So that was certainly very interesting, and I believe you might have had a quarter, like you have experienced a lot on duty as an wing commander at the Air Force, and it is really interesting to hear all the stories. So please tell us about your definition of success. What in your so basically, what is your definition of success, and what is its matrix?
Yeah. So Aditya, success means different things to different people. So every person has their own definition of success. But what broadly it entails is that success is following your passion, what you really want to do in life, and while doing that, you do that when you want to do, with who you want to do. You have that liberty and that freedom, and while doing that, whatever you are doing, you are also contributing to a larger cause, a mission that can help other people as well, because that is what gives you fulfillment, right? So success is not just about money and power. It is a lot more, a lot deeper, because temporarily anyone can be successful by what you do, probably by what you even learn. But the person you are, the person you become in that process, is what makes you successful over a over a longer period of time. And also what we need to understand about success is that success is the other side. It's the coin, the other side of failure, right? There's one coin where there's success and there's failure. The success is based, it is laid on foundation of failures. So the more probably you fail in life, the more you will succeed. So my message is that we should never be scared of failures, and all we need to do is learn our lessons, come back on track, and then start again. And success is not the end result of anything. It is just the journey that we undertake every single day of becoming a better version of who we are while doing what we love doing and adding value to the world and contributing to others. So
Yes,
that in a nutshell is my definition of what success is.
um, just to summarize it for my viewers, ma'am said that success is basically something which you do, or success is something which gives you fulfillment, or something you could say happiness. Uh, so basically, ma'am, that is really interesting, and we should always work towards fulfillment and helping others achieve their fulfillment. Uh, so thank you, ma'am, and
Thank you, Aditya.
I learned a lot, and so
Sweet of
uh,
you.
yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So please tell us about your favorite moment from the Air Force.
Yes, so I've already talked about some of them. My training period, getting posted to my first unit, which was very memorable because I was the only lady officer and there were like 23 male officers in that squadron. And how I went through my own challenges to prove to them that I'm one of them, I'm one of you. We are a team, right? Because when I just walked in the first day, I remember they had so many doubts whether will she able to fly the way we do, will she able to do all the duties that we do, whether will she able to do the night duty or ask for any concessions. Or so I understood that they had their own set of questions about my capability, my being a part of their team, and they were justified because they hadn't faced these situations earlier. So I understood the mindset where it came from. I also understood that to become one of them, I had to, give up my self-limiting beliefs and my self-doubts, and I had to put in a lot of hard work. And I realized that how important is self-image, because that doesn't let you pull down how important your values are. So these are the things that I learned there, and that tenure was one of my best because I never wanted to get a posting in a desert, and but what you don't want, catches you in life. So I got posted to Jaisalmer, which is just on the boundary. It's the heart of the desert. And I used to think that the deserts are not green, they're like dry, the climate is harsh. But I fell in love with that place. It was so beautiful. And the colleagues that were kind of doubting me initially have now become my friends, my best friends, and we are still connected after so many years. So that was a very memorable time for me. Another memorable time was when I got married. My husband also is a helicopter pilot. We got married together, and there were times when we were posted at different places. And then, those challenges did come up. The next was posting to Siachen Glacier, and the posting after that, where my daughter was born. That was a very memorable time, but it came with a lot of challenges because now, as a mother, my set of challenges were different. And then another time was when I was posted to another station where I was kind of the staff pilot helping in training the cadets in flying. So yeah, every posting, every experience has been different. It's been very memorable, and it's I think it's very close to my heart. All of it. Basically all the 15 years that I spent with the Air Force. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Anyone in your place would have absolutely have their time at like on duty in their heart, because basically that gives you a it it is a very interesting job. It's not like, and if you love it, then there's like, if you do anything and you love it, and then it will stay in your heart forever. So ma'am, thank you for sharing all those moments. Now, please tell me, how do you see like the differences in life, like between corporate and all those like types of jobs, and which and the air force, like, and jobs which are in the armed forces?
That's a good question, Aditya, because see, the how an organization is driven by a mission. What is the motive they have? So the mission of both, if you see the armed forces and the corporates, are totally different. The armed forces, they prepare you for war, right? The corporates are preparing you for having more share in the market. It's more business driven, it is more commercial driven. So the objectives are totally different, and that's how is the requirement of you to tune in and to be aligned with those objectives while preparing yourself and giving your best to that organization. So although the basics remain the same, your leadership qualities, they remain the same, but since the objectives are so different from each other, the requirements, the expectations, the demands, the training is very different. So we're talking about two different arenas altogether that are different, that are driven by absolutely different aims and objectives. Is what
Yes,
we are
ma'am.
talking about. So definitely there would be a difference. There's a huge difference, but then they are good at what they're doing, right? So both of them in different, because now I have experience of corporate as well, and I know how that works. So yeah, so that's how it is. The ideologies are different, expectations are different,
Yes,
because they
ma'am.
are meant for different jobs altogether.
Yes, ma'am. What I understand from my point of view, I may be right, I may be wrong, but I basically understand that if you're working in the armed forces compared to if you're working in some company like Microsoft or something like that, you may have an easy life, but you may not have all those type of adventures or something like that. You can say when you have risk in your life, I believe if you have risk in your life, then you have more drive, you have more passion, and that keeps you going. And if a person is truly dedicated towards one thing, and if they have the drive and they risk, then the thing becomes altogether more interesting. So thank you, ma'am, for sharing that.
Great.
Uh,